Fellas, welcome back to another episode of Fellas Fridays. This is episode 11. You're not broke, you're undisciplined. And make sure you head on over to my Instagram profile, hit that subscribe button, and support the Scoot Gang. Fellas, let's skip the excuses this week. Let's skip the sympathy. Let's skip the blaming and the backstories. Because the truth is, you're not broke. You're undisciplined. And I say that with love. Because I was that. I lived that. And the second I called it out for what it was, my whole life changed. So let me walk you through this episode step by step, not to shame you, but to wake you up. Let's talk about it. I was never broke. I was just moving broke. I dropped out of high school. I was out there doing the bare minimum, working 3 days a week, partying 4 nights a week, selling drugs for extra cash, risking my life and my freedom, while talking like I was chasing my dreams. I told everybody I wanted to be a rapper. I told people I had big plans. But I had no structure, no system, and no discipline. I was broke, but not because of money, because of my mindset. I thought I was doing enough, but deep down, I was running from responsibility. I didn't want to build. I just wanted to receive. And then one day, my mother got fed up and said, "Get the fuck out of here. No fallback, no help, nobody coming to save me." And at that moment, I had to face the truth. Nobody cares about your potential if you're not producing anything. So I had to get serious. I got disciplined. I learned how to show up even when it wasn't fun. I learned how to sacrifice comfort for consistency. And that version of me, he's the one that built everything that followed. You see, most men don't have a money problem. They have a focus problem. You don't need more money. You need more structure. You're not too broke to chase your goals. You're too distracted to execute. You waste hours a day scrolling, venting, watching people live the life you say that you want, but you're not doing anything about it. You complain about being broke while your Netflix is on, your DoorDash is active, your vape is full, and your motivation is on zero. That's not being broke. That's being comfortable with mediocrity. When I finally looked around and realized that I wasn't broke, I was just living like a man who didn't take himself seriously. That's when I changed. Let me keep it real with you. Talent doesn't mean shit without consistency. I mean, I've been a barber for most of my life. I know what it's like to be better than people skill-wise, but still see them making more money than me. It crushed me. It made me question myself. How the fuck is a guy with half my talent, book solid, making bank, and leveling up? I'll tell you how. He was more disciplined, he was more consistent, and he was available. I was out here partying, sleeping late, showing up late, but he was showing up on time, every time, marketing himself, being seen, and stacking wins. That's when I learned it doesn't matter if you're the best in the room, if nobody can count on you. The world doesn't pay the most talented. It pays the most reliable. So I got focused. I changed how I moved. And when I did, I blew past everyone who used to be ahead of me. It's that simple. But the real bag is on the other side of boredom. Discipline. Discipline is boring. Nobody talks about that part. Waking up every day at the same time, doing the same things, skipping what feels good for what builds you. It's not sexy. It's not viral, and it's definitely not fun. But that's where the money is. That's where your peace is. That's where your power is. Every man says he wants to be rich, but most men, they can't even handle routine. They want excitement. They want validation. They want freedom. But they don't want to put in the consistency that earns it. The men who get rich, they're not the most passionate. They're definitely not the most talented. They're just the most committed. And the difference between $500 a week and $5,000 a week is usually just discipline. Because discipline makes you dangerous. A man with discipline is a man who cannot be controlled. You can't bribe him, you can't tempt him, and you cannot break him. Because he doesn't move based on how he feels. He moves based on what he's building. That's why most men stay broke. Because they're too emotional. They move when they're motivated, but they stop when it's hard. But the moment you get disciplined, you become a weapon. You become a machine. And that's when people start watching different. That's when opportunities show up. That's when the money flows in. Because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards production. Do not compare results if you do not match routines. You're looking at other people on IG wondering why they're ahead. Wondering why she chose him. Why he's always traveling. Why he seems free. But do you move like him? Do you grind like him? Do you manage time like him? Do you say no to distractions like him? Don't compare your effort to someone else's outcome. If you want to match results, match their discipline. Because most of the men that you envy, they're not better than you. They're just more consistent than you. More focused than you. More intentional than you. And guess what? You can fix that today. Fellas, the reward is not money. It's who you become. Because you better believe the money comes. It always does. But the real reward, the man you become through discipline. The way you start respecting yourself. The way your mind gets sharper. The way your standards rise. You stop moving like a victim. You stop chasing women. You stop begging for support because you become the kind of man who earns it without asking. That's the true flex. Not the car, not the chain, not the shoes. It's the ability to say no, to delay pleasure, to choose the hard path because you know what's on the other side. Fellas, you're not broke. You're just undisciplined. And that's actually the good news. Because if your problem was permanent, you'd be stuck. But this This is fixable. You don't need a new life. You need a new mindset. You need structure. You need consistency. You want more out of life? Be more. You want to eat like a king? Then grind like a soldier. And always remember this: nobody is coming to save you. But the man you're meant to be is waiting on the other side of your habits. Wake up early. Stick to your word. Be where you said you're gonna be. Cut off the comfort and run towards the pressure. The money, the respect, the peace, it's already yours. You just haven't earned it yet. Fellas, thank you again for tuning in. This was Fellas Fridays, episode 11. You're not broke. You're just undisciplined. Make sure you head on over to my IG profile or any profile that you're tuning in from and hit that subscribe button. Support the Scoot Gang, and I'll see you here, right here, same time, same channel, each and every Friday. Scooty!